Buongiorno, everybody. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, buongiorno.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 16 of Sakura Popcast, where your K drama musings come to life. I am on Spotify, on iTunes, and on all other types of streaming media, so you can listen to this podcast on those other platforms as well. Bonnie has also kindly helped me set up an email address, so if you'd like to send me some comments or opinions, things you would like me to read off the podcast, then please email us at sakurapopcast@gmail.com. Yeah, something really interesting happened. I was sleeping and it was in the middle of the night, and I started to hear this unusual sound, like the sound of fireworks. And I heard my brother going outside to like check things out. So I thought, okay, he's just gonna make sure everything's fine. I slept through the rest of the night, and in the morning, I found out from some news reports that a few streets away from me, two pickup trucks blew up.
Whoa,
I, they caught on fire,
whoa.
and police are suspecting arson. So somebody lit up these two trucks, set them on fire, and the shockwave of the explosion came over like several streets down to reach my house. And according to my brother, in the downstairs, in the first floor of my house, the walls shook from the impact.
Wow. I'm glad it wasn't, no one got hurt.
Nobody got hurt, only the trucks. That was my event of the week. So today we are talking about episode 9 and 10. Woo! Lots of happenings. We're getting back to a a flurry of excitement and activity. Babel found the safe house that the hospital director has been holed up in. They dispatched a team of assassins who overcame the cops and the security around the safe house. They killed the hospital director, and they also done away with the victims' families. And there's more besides, they sent off hitmen to target both Cha Yong and Vincenzo.
Yeah, you basically got all the spoilers for those episodes. Those are the biggest events.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I'm not holding back on spoilers. We have to
Yeah.
talk about and analyze these episodes, and for us to do that, we must explain what they were all about.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, Babel has targeted people before, and they're just picking people off left, right, and center, anybody who opposes them. And here I thought sending a truck crashing through the windows of a restaurant to murder somebody was bad enough, but things have ratcheted up a new level.
Well, it's all orchestrated by different people, right? Like the truck one was by that Wu Sang lawyer. And then this is different because this is by Babel, most likely, like Zhang Wu, or yeah, that's his name, right? He did that, and the hitman was by his brother. So it's all kind of orchestrated by different people
Yep. And yet it all happened in one
around the same
episode this
time.
time.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with their communication because, well, obviously Junwoo did not want Vincenzo and Chaeyoung targeted, but
yeah,
he did go the length of making sure the hospital director would no longer be available to
yeah.
testify.
I mean, fair enough, because the director specifically targeted him and set and blackmailed him. about the death of his father. So it makes sense that he wants to kill him off.
Hmm. Well, I'm not feeling particularly sad about it.
I'm not either,
This
except for the
hospital
fact,
director, like, deserves even worse fate than
yeah,
death.
but he was useful because he could have provided useful information to the good people.
Yeah, yeah, that's right,
So,
including
the,
Mr. Jang, our prosecutor.
and that was the part that I think is really important is the fact that they were one step, like they were basically a few minutes too late because they were going to pretend to assassinate him that night and get some information from him, but they never even got the chance to do that. So that was
Mm.
really sad.
Foiled.
Hmm.
One step forward and two steps back.
Basically.
Yeah, we lost a very important informant in the hospital director.
Hmm.
Like, he was definitely in the position to point out and testify against everything that Babel has done so far. Even about the previous like generation of
Hmm.
Babel inheritors and executives. Like, he had information about Junwoo's dad as well. He was about to spill all the beans.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, when I watched that part, I was like, okay, like, how are they going to get away with this? This is obviously murder. Somehow they were able to frame it to be like suicide. Like, I get how the family died and how, like burning coal, blah, 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 that looks more like a suicide. But in this case, I can't believe they were able to pull that off.
Hence the suspension of belief. We're gonna have to
Hmm.
continue to do more and more of that
Yeah.
and upgrade our own personal abilities to suspend our belief because it's starting to get a little bit ridiculous. I mean,
Right.
okay, this is a safe house we're talking about. Nobody should know where it is. But not only does Babel themselves know, but Vincenzo ended up finding it too, like the exact address, the exact location.
Well, he knew because the prosecutor told him.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, but the bad guy shouldn't have known for
No.
sure.
Yeah.
We know witness protection is a huge deal. Like, this stuff is kept really confidential, really in the down low. The details would only be released to people who must know, which is a very small and privileged group of police personnel. It wouldn't just like not just any police person would find out about it.
Hmm.
Not to mention the fact that no fewer than four highly trained, armed, and vigilant policemen had to be overcome. What did Babel do? Send their own personal SWAT team to attack? And the hospital director, he is uh he is a key informant witness as well. He's not just like any minor person. Like, this guy could potentially bring the whole Babel corporation down, and the justice system just wantonly let this happen.
It's it's hard to
It's
believe.
it's beyond belief for sure. Yeah, they're overreaching themselves a little bit.
And the timing, right? Like if he like how come they know now? He's been there for a while. If they are so capable, maybe they should have found out earlier. And if they're not, then why now? I
Hmm.
just think it's just like what are the chances
Yeah.
that they would find them right before the good guys were gonna get something out of it? I don't know. That part kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, we're starting to poke some pretty big holes in this ship.
Yeah.
I take issue
So,
with where they locate their safe house too,
mm-hmm.
because it looks like it's a villa in the middle of nowhere. However, a house of that size with windows like overlooking every terrace is very, very difficult to protect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no expert, okay? So let me just get that out there.
You
But
mean you're not a witness protection expert? Yeah. You obviously know a lot about this.
seems to be sensible to me to that to set up a safe house where there's going to be limited entrances and exits so you can focus your protection at strategic places in the house, and it would just be easier to protect your person. Like fewer
Hmm.
entry points, right? Fewer places for
Right.
somebody to look in and be able to see kind of exactly where the hospital director is at any one time. Yeah, but when you have like
Yeah.
these huge patios that just open up and balconies and like a second floor, well, you're opening up a lot of points of vulnerability.
Like, do you really need a luxurious
Yeah, this is
mansion?
not an appropriately located safe house. At
Yeah.
yeah,
So, oh well.
but hey, Babel can do anything at this point. They threatened the chief prosecutor. They even killed off the assistant prosecutor. What's
Oh my gosh, can we talk about that scene?
with the hockey stick?
Yeah. That was intense.
It was a little bit gruesome.
That was when I was like, okay, maybe it is starting to become more believable that he's this monster that they want him to look like he is. You know, in the last few episodes, we're like, oh, he just looks like a little boy playing
Mm-hmm.
around. But I think it's after that scene when I'm like, okay, I can see him being so like so gruesome, so cruel, like no sense of remorse that he could be doing all this stuff.
Psychopath was
So,
the exact word that I used last episode.
yeah, and that plays it off, right? Like what he did this episode.
He's completely
He just
mental.
went for it.
Yeah.
He just went for it. He just didn't like, there was no holding back. That's why everyone in that scene was shocked. Yeah, that was bad.
It is a very
That was,
shocking scene.
mm-hmm.
Um, and
But when, if he can do that, then like he can just terrorize anyone,
and
basically.
he has. Hey, he killed
And he
off
has. I'm like trying to keep track of who's
who's done what?
in like involved with what. Yeah, to see like what their true nature
Ah,
is.
very good.
I think I think the Wusang lawyer is similar to him in the sense that she can order people to kill people. I don't know if she has the ability to kill someone with her own hands though. I don't think she's as bad as him in terms of cold-bloodedness.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he, you know, like before this scene, it seems like he was just using his money to order people to do
Yes.
things, which is not the same as using a hockey stick in your own hands to kill someone, right? So,
And I mean, what a way to kill somebody. That's like bludgeoning somebody to death. It's very
oh yeah,
cruel on so many levels. This is not just like one gunshot, right?
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Basically
That was
he
brutal.
tortured his victim until his victim bled out from blunt
Yep,
trauma.
and everyone around him,
Yeah. Yep.
right? It was traumatic for
Yeah.
everyone. Like,
Goodness gracious. Like, what a terror.
I felt like that was a key scene for me in terms of how I view him now as a person. It's become very, I don't know, watching episode 9, it was kind of depressing. I didn't feel like there was enough comedy in that one because everything was like the good guys are winning, the good guys are bouncing up, the good guys can, I mean, sorry, the good guys, the bad guys can do whatever they want, you know, like they can just kill people and not have any consequences. I don't know how you felt after watching that.
It's kind of a big deal if the chief prosecutor's assistant is murdered cold
Yep.
blood and a key
Nothing happens
witness
to him.
is dead.
Yeah.
A bunch of cops who were protecting the key witness is dead. And the
Yep.
victims' families, who are also connected and were victimized by Babel, are dead.
That was unnecessary. Seriously, it's not like they would have done
Yeah.
anything.
It
It was just
it seemed to be
cruel.
like a plot driver to
Yeah.
inflame Vincenzo and Cha Young's resolve to go after uh, Babel's boss, Junwoo.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can see the anger in their eyes when they witnessed. Although the Wusang lawyer, the female lawyer, I'm liking her more and more. I don't know why.
She is a
She's
worthy
just
villain,
so
that's for sure.
cool. Yeah, like, you know how I like how she's just not scared of him. She was shocked, but after that, she like, she was able to stabilize
Yeah, that's
herself.
right.
And then she had and then she's still very competent in what she's doing. And then she was willing to have that conversation with him and call him out and said, like, why are you doing this? Why are you hiding behind the shadows? I felt that was cool.
You just can't help but admire that tenacity.
Yeah, like ethically terrible
Yeah,
person, but
doubtless.
competence wise, like I am still admiring her for it. And the fact that she probably the only one of the bad guys who are willing to, stand up for
Yep.
herself, kind
I
of.
usually hate watching the villains' parts because I
Yeah.
feel like Korean dramas are not really good at portraying the enemy.
Mm-hmm. It's
They're
very like
usually
not,
not likable. And you
yeah,
just can't wait to skip all of those parts. You can't wait for them to finish speaking before we flip back to watching the protagonist again.
right.
So this is one of the few shows where I don't mind in the least to see what Wu Sang is up to because she is so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Except it's only her though. Like I don't care what the CEO has to say, and I don't care what that like fake CEO of the Babel group has. Like I don't like the scenes between the brothers. It's just very abusive.
Tell me about it.
Like I don't like those scenes at all. It's just very much like seeing a sad puppy dog.
That's being kicked around
Yeah.
and told off.
Right?
Yeah.
There's one point where Junwoo like threw a glass at him,
Yeah. During
and
breakfast.
then he looked scared, and then afterwards he was left on his own, and then he kind of just sat down and continued eating his breakfast and like laughing to himself, and I'm like, "Oh, I feel so bad for this guy. I don't want to
Yeah, me
watch this."
too.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like those scenes
Mm. Although
at
I don't
all.
mind watching that younger brother now. I feel like he's bringing a certain dimension um, that's that's worth sympathizing with that
Yeah.
Junwoo doesn't have. Yeah, he's just this like wide-eyed marionette, this puppy.
Mhm. That's what he named him on his
Yes,
phone. Did you
yep,
see
that's
that?
right, marionette.
That was funny.
So we left off with a cliffhanger then in episode 9.
Oh
It's been a long
yeah.
time since we've had a cliffhanger, a worthy one, that is. Well, episode 10, we get some interesting things that happen as well, but it
Mhm.
feels a lot shorter of an episode after all of those bombastic things that happened in 9. So in episode 10, we've got some counter threats that are launched by our protagonist, involving 3 threats that were made against our 3 opponents. So our Wu Sang lady lawyer, our CEO Wu Sang, and against younger brother Babel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was those
Which
those scenes were kind of fun to watch, I must admit.
they're fun, but it's like I don't know if they really needed to involve all those people from that plaza. My concern is they involved these victims' families and they all got killed off. And now they're involving all these like innocent people. They're gonna die
They
too.
wanted to help.
I know,
Vincenzo did
but
not want to
if
accept, but Cha Young accepted on his behalf.
but
Um,
if I were them, I would be like, no, I don't want to get more people involved because I don't want them to, you know, end up sacrificing.
Mm.
Maybe that's what Vincenzo was thinking. Like, seriously, they're not that helpful either. So I don't really think that it was necessary to like waste more lives. I feel like it's something that Vincenzo and Chaeyoung could have done with their paralegal. That's what I think. I just, I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat worried about these people
Oh,
now.
you don't have to worry. You know why, Bonnie? Characters used
Why?
for comedy are never killed off.
Oh, is it true?
Yeah, this is breaking the fourth wall here. Let's put it this way. Our tenants do nothing to drive the plot forward. So they are neither important enough to render themselves the targets, nor would it achieve anything for this drama to kill them off. So our tenants are wearing the metaphorical badge of immortality. There wouldn't be any purpose for getting rid of them.
All right, so this is another prediction that we should track then.
But those are some fun scenes. I mean, what a way to scare people. I mean, Babel can make threats, but they can't make threats like Vincenzo can. Especially since the more you learn about Vincenzo, uh, the more you realize that he can be just as cold blooded and as cruel. Vincenzo will do what it takes as well because he's done it before. Yeah.
And I think that's when Jungwoo was like, okay, yeah, I gotta do something about this guy.
Hmm. Well, he's been saying that for ages. I gotta do something about this guy. He's
But he
tried.
wasn't, right? He was telling his brother, he was like, I'm gonna keep him around because he's a fun
He's a
opponent.
sparring partner.
Yeah, but I think at this point he's like, no, too risky. Let's just kill him off.
But how about that? How about that zombie scary? I found that hilarious. You know, when I first saw that scene, I thought they were gonna reuse the truck as a scare tactic again. She
Oh,
was in the
yeah, that would
laundromat.
be
I
boring.
thought, oh, okay, are they gonna do the truck thing again? But no.
I love how they only scare her at the There's something about the laundromat. If I were her, I would just stop going back to that
I
laundromat.
would have stopped going back the
'Cause
first time after the
exactly,
truck
like she
incident.
was threatened there already. Why is she there again? After the second time, I hope she doesn't go back
You know,
because,
it's
you know, it's
funny,
not
like,
very
you
smart.
know, zombies aren't real, but it doesn't
Yeah, but it's
scare
still
you any
scary.
less to see one real or not.
Yeah, but the lighting and
Yeah.
everything, like,
And how realistic
but
he looked.
it's funny because that's all that guy does, though, because he was involved with the other
Yeah,
scheme
that's right.
and he did the same thing.
Yes. Oh, I would be
That's
I would
like
be
his specialty.
terrified because in the other scene, it was four against one.
Oh, that
So
was scarier because
a
you're locked
small
inside
horde
with
of
them.
zombies, yes, being locked in with you.
Yeah.
Goodness, that would give
At least this
anybody
one, there's
trouble.
like a
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
that was the
I thought
best.
the
I think the
yeah,
other two were not
yeah.
as.
I thought the mini bomb was it was kind of cute.
It was cute. But I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna like pick at it again. But how could they escape? It's like remote control. They know there's someone close by. I'm sure they could like track down who it was. You know what I mean? Like they were in the parking lot. How did they leave the parking lot without being caught?
Sometimes
Jackie.
our protagonists have to get away with things just as easily as Babel has gotten away with the bigger things.
Fair. I was like, you guys are right there.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's right.
know.
And like you said, it's remote control, so they can only operate it from a certain distance.
Exactly. Why don't they use like Wi-Fi technology?
Or a drone.
We're in 2021. Yeah.
Shrug.
I
And
don't
there's
know.
CCTV everywhere in Korea. Like you can
Yeah.
get
Especially in a parking lot. Anyway,
I'm just gonna
so
shrug that off.
let's just shrug that off
That's
too.
okay. They also need to
Moving
get away
on.
with things. Yes, moving on. Finally, uh, we have shots fired, people. We talked about guns, or rather the lack of guns last episode. They're finally making use of them. Makes for a Very entertaining fight choreography section.
But 3 against 1.
Oh, yeah. That's
Like
tough.
how did he escape? Even if you think like, okay, fine, he's really good at fighting, but the number of shots fired, like mathematically and statistically, it's kind of hard. By the time he like loads up his next round, yeah, I don't know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he looks really cool, and I think the scene is to make him look cool.
Every scene is to make him look cool. The whole drama is designed
Yeah,
around this tenet.
basically.
Well, he was
But
like
yeah, that
he
ending,
was 4 against 1 before episode 1,
4 against 1.
when he was
Oh,
attacked in his apartment.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That
And
is
that was
true.
supposedly when he's in a vulnerable state too. Like those
Mhm.
assassins timed it for when he was sleeping or when he should have been
Mhm.
sleeping. And
Yeah,
he fought them off like they were just
that's true.
like he's just swatting flies. Oh yes. Yes. Where did he get that gun? How did he get it? Oh, Mr. Choi got it for him. That's right. He did, didn't he? Did he?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Choi, interesting in this episode. Can we just backtrack a little bit and talk about him?
Yeah. This guy is
Because
starting to
he's
look a bit
always been
dicey.
loyal.
Yeah.
And then, I'm like, oh, he's a good, loyal assistant. And then suddenly he like gets all angry and like doesn't follow orders. And I'm like, oh, what's going
So
on? Is he
clearly,
greedy?
so clearly the gold is meant for him too. I guess this is like a partnership scenario. But to
He
see
does, and he
that,
really wants
to
it.
see that he's doing something behind Vincenzo's back when he's always been so loyal and supportive, after all this time, to see him go behind Vincenzo's back, it's very disappointing to say the least.
I wonder if there's something we don't know about, like he's being threatened or blackmailed or something behind the scenes to make him kind of change his personality. If there isn't, then it's terrible writing because like this is coming out of nowhere. We need some background.
Nope, no background, just a cheap plot device. Oh, what about all our hidden martial artists?
Oh,
there
that was
are there are
cool.
three. We've got our
Yeah.
scissors guy.
He was
My
cool.
goodness. I thought he was
He came out of
unfit.
nowhere.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, what a fun
He was cool.
addition to our team.
Yeah, and like the guy who always boasts that he knows martial arts is actually good, and his wife.
Yeah, wow.
That was
She's a
surprising.
wrestler.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's
So
great
they're
to
actually
fun. Yep,
helpful.
yes. And in a pinch they can defend themselves.
Yeah, so that
Good
was
to
good to
know.
see.
Very good to see that Vincenzo is not our sole protector. Yeah,
Yeah, that would
because
be very
otherwise
like
he'd
a
just
lot
be
on
spread
him.
thin. Yep, so you don't
Exactly.
have to worry about the tenants, Bonnie. They're not going
I hope
anywhere.
not. I just what did you think about the scenes? Because a lot of the episode was spent on the scenes where they wore masks and they were just making fun of these
Hmm.
people. I don't know how I feel about it because like it was supposed to aggravate the top Babel person, but it's not like they made fun of him. They just made fun of like these other
It seems
people.
like it did
So
nothing. They accomplished
exactly, I
nothing.
was like, if I was Jungwoo, I'll be like, so,
Yeah. Well, that is kind of what
like
he said
he was just
in a
laughing.
way. Yeah. He knew exactly
Yeah,
what the motivation is and he's not falling for it.
which made me admire him more.
Yeah.
I think these last two episodes made me feel like, yeah, he can be the bad
Mhm.
guy.
Yep.
I accept that he's the bad guy now.
Finally.
Finally.
If he heard this and he's watching, I'm sure he would be relieved too. I get some recognition
Yeah, good
from
acting.
two
Finally.
podcasters.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for episode
Okay.
10. Yeah, it's just that last scene that's the most interesting. Because I was upset that, right when he was asking the killer who is the person behind Babel, the other people showed up, and I'm like, don't show up yet. Let him answer. But apparently, maybe he answered because he said like Vincenzo knows
And then he looked
who
at
Pablo
Junwoo
is.
very meaningfully.
Yeah, but who knows what that means? Like, is he really looking at him, or is there a twist? And how does he know? There's so many question marks. That was the true cliffhanger for me.
You know what I thought was going to happen at that point? Okay, I thought the guy wouldn't have answered. So
Mm-hmm.
instead, Vincenzo would take control over his phone and
Yes.
dial it, right? Obviously.
Okay.
Dial it,
And
it'll
then his
ring,
phone
and
rings.
yeah, Junwoo's phone
Yeah.
rings. And they
That would
learn
be
of
a
it.
good scene.
Yes.
That would be such a good scene.
Yeah, that would have played out well.
Jackie, you gotta write K dramas.
I can write K-dramas. I can design a safe house. What can't I do?
Yeah, I know. You're a podcaster.
And that's a wrap. Remember, you can get in touch with Sakura Popcast. What is the email again, Bonnie?
sakurapopcast@gmail.com.
Yes, send them over. We would love to read it out on this podcast. And there you have it. Our reactions to episode 9 and 10. That is all, everybody. We will see you next time. Au revoir. Or should I say arrivederci?
Arrivederci.